Hi, I'm Supriya. I'm an author, writer, marketer, and TEDx speaker. I'm also a book to business coach, and I help people take their book ideas to reality. We convert thought bubbles into manuscripts that we go on to become best selling books. And today I'm going to tell you 5 things that first time authors don't know about. And these are the things that are very, very important for you to know now before you even start writing your book, right? The first thing, write for the reader. As an author, it's very, very easy to get lost into your own idea, into your own story, because you have a great idea, right? And you have a great story. But unless a reader understands it, unless a reader resonates with it, your story has no meaning and the book is not going to resonate with the reader. So, when you're writing, make sure you know who the reader of that book is going to be, define your target audience really well, and then write for that reader. So, that's the first thing. The second thing that you need to know is that publishing is a pain. If you're going the traditional publishing route, it could take months or even years to actually see your book out there in bookstores, on bookshelves, and published maybe on Amazon, and have it in people's hands. If you're going the self-publishing route, it's easier, it's faster, but it takes money. You actually have to pay the publisher to get your book out there. And then there is, of course, the Kindle Direct publishing option, which is free, but probably the quality of your submission might not be great because there's no external influence that's checking, is it a great book to put out there in the market. So again, like I said, for most authors, we are blindsided by what we write because we are so involved, so absorbed in the process, and we need that external influence to take a second look at what you've written and give us honest feedback. And which is why I keep saying that an editor is a writer's best friend, because they're able to tell people what works, what doesn't work, and what's going to resonate with the readers and what's missing. And a lot of this advice that is great in a traditional publishing ecosystem, but maybe not so much in the self-publishing space. But why self-publishing is flourishing nowadays, and I also recommend to most of the authors, is because it's faster, it's quicker, and gets your book out there in the market really, really quickly. But if you have an idea that you think the traditional publisher cannot resist, I would say you should definitely go that route. And but be prepared to sort of wait it out. So that's the second point. Publishing is a pain. Be prepared for it, and don't be disheartened if you get a lot of rejections in the beginning, right? Then the third point is you have to market your book. You have to spend money, you have to spend effort, you have to spend time in doing that, because marketing is really, really, really important to make sure that your book is visible, to make sure that it gets into those bestseller lists, to make sure that people are buying books and your copies are selling. So marketing is going to be a very, very big investment on your part, both in terms of money and in terms of your time. And you have to create a great marketing plan for your book. And like I say, writing a book is only half the thing done. It's a lot more effort out there to actually make it into a published book and get it into your readers' hands. In fact, marketing is so important that we have a separate workshop for it entirely, which only focuses on strategies and tactics to market your book and sell as many copies as you can. So plan for it, right? If you're going with a traditional publisher, of course, they're going to put their marketing muscle behind you. But if you're going for self-publishing, you might have to do a lot of work on your own. In either case, doing book tours, talking to influencers, creating videos, creating emails, newsletters, social media content. There's going to be a lot of work required to getting reviews, right? To get your book noticed, and that's the first step to really getting into the sales part of it, right? So yes, marketing is going to take effort, and you need to be prepared to invest that effort and money into it. The fourth thing I want you to know is that you can't do everything by yourself, and so you need to put in place a team. It could be your friends and family who will help you, or it could be a bunch of professionals, but you need to identify who are the people who are going to become your team who will drive this launch forward, right? It could be your publisher's team, it could be an editor that you've come across somewhere, it could be a visual designer, it could be a content writer who's going to create these marketing assets for you, and so on and so forth. It could just be like a personal assistant who manages all your commitments in terms of where you're going, where you're talking, how many responses, who tracks sales, stuff like that, right? So you need to get all of that going as well. And the final thing I want you to know is there's no money in book writing unless you're planning to become a full-time author and that's all you want to do. Uh, very few people make money out of their books. The trick is to know how to translate that book into something that actually makes money, and which is why the retreat we do is called Book to Business, where we're actually exploring ideas of how you can take concepts from your book and make it into viable business ventures. It could be a workshop, it could be you know games, it could be how do you translate that book, how do you translate into things that would actually sell and would actually put money into your pocket, so that you can actually justify the investment that you made into that book. And this is why it's also very important to know why you're writing the book, right? So yeah, these are the 5 things I really wanted to put out there, especially for first time authors, because most of the time these things, once you've got 30,000-40,000 word manuscript written, these things could really take you by surprise. And we wanted you to be prepared. We're going to actually talk about this a lot more in details in our book retreat, which is usually a 2 to 3 day event. We do both online and offline versions of it. Um, we recently did one in Coorg, which was a great success. You can see some of the testimonials on the website. But we're also doing a few online versions, and you can see the details on the page. If you like to know more about how this entire ecosystem works, how to get started on a book, how do you take your idea, the germ of an idea, into a manuscript which is 30 to 40,000 words or even more, right? How do you do that? How do you then approach publishers? How do you decide whether you go for traditional publishing or self publishing? How do you shape it all up into a marketing plan? To get more reviews, to get more eyeballs for your book. And finally, what do you do with that book to generate those alternative income streams? So we cover all of that into this Book to Business program. Check out the details. Check out there's a lot of stuff on this page for your reference. So check this out, and hopefully we will see you in one of the next few sessions. And if you still want to know whether writing a book is a great idea or where you are, on the top of the page, there is an assessment, a book readiness assessment. So you can take that and quickly identify where you are in terms of how ready you are to write a book. So, yay! That's all from me today, and happy writing.